Good to have you back.
Good to have you back again.
Again.
Yes.
How is everything?
Again. Everything is so far so good.
So far, so good.
Yes.
This is the third time we're doing this?
This is the third episode of Good Game.
And how does it feel?
So far, I think we explore so many things since it's just 3 episodes. I mean, this is the third
Correct.
episode. We talk so many things and it's so fruitful to me.
I think so too.
Yes. What do you think? How do you feel?
I feel the same, especially when together, when we listen to the episode, when we watch what we have, trying to find like the most interesting parts to turn it into shorts and reels, like things like that. I kind of feel like, wow, we really talked about a lot of things that,
Me too.
I don't even realize that, actually we have so many topics to talk.
Oh my goodness, we talk about that.
True.
Right? Kind of a little amazed about it. So let's recap.
All right, yeah, sure.
So the first episode, we're talking about the definition of good game, how we define a good game, and we both as a host, what are our good games? Your good game was learning. My good game was well planned, right? Yeah. In order to be prepared for the consequences. Right. And the second episode, I remember we talk about failure.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
So how we define failures, how to face the failure, how to live this failure, and important things is how to accept the failure.
How to accept and how to grow from the failure, how to use it as a jumping stone.
Yes, and today, the third episode, as the sequence of failure.
Sequel.
Yes.
The sequel
then we're going to talk about growth.
Growth.
Okay? So, growth. From general perspective, how do you see growth?
Well, I think growth is a process. First of all, it's not an overnight thing, meaning it takes some time. It's an ongoing thing. That's one. 2, I believe there are factors. There are some materials, ingredients that you use. Without the ingredient or without you putting in some of the material, it's not going to happen. That is a very broad way of saying it, because growth can be a personal growth can be a career, growth can be a company, like the profit growth, right? But no matter what, if it's a one-person individual growth or it's a company, a corporate growth, I think it's always the same thing. It is a process, and it uses some, elements, ingredients.
All right.
And there are constraints. You need to be realistic. You cannot just grow 50 centimeters overnight.
No, of course.
But you can grow 50 centimeters in 2 years when you're a teenager. In 2 years, you can become a tiny kid, become a big guy, right? Yeah,
true. That's a very good definition of growth from the broad perspective. But to me, I have definition of growth as well, which I call it as the investment of time, efforts, and everything, and the fruits of all of the efforts. That's how I define it. Growth, right? No matter what is your field, where is your destinations. So all the investment in the process, like a time, efforts, failures, pain, pleasure over pain, or pain over pleasure, I don't know. So we're going to see the fruits after the storm experience of the tree.
True.
Right?
Yeah, that's a very beautiful saying. Say it again, please. Like the silence before the storm.
What did I say?
The storm experience before.
Let's say it's a fruit of the storm experience from the tree.
That's such a beautiful way to say it, because I kind of feel, because the word the storm kind of reminds me of one thing. Growth is a painful thing. right? Like
True.
it is. I mean,
True.
it is a storm actually.
True,
You're
true.
just facing a storm.
True.
And like as you know, in nature, like there are many animals, for example, who change their skin, right? A snake changing his skin. I know. Like I've seen somewhere. There's a type of eagle that changes. It either decides to die away,
Yes,
or it just painfully just breaks the beak,
yes,
and the new one
comes after.
That's a growth,
Right?
Is it? I think it is, right?
It is. But I think we can learn it in a narrow way where you love Stoicism, right? Me either. I like Stoicism. But in terms of philosophy, I learn more and a lot from Aristotle, Seneca, Stoicism, and from Socrates as well. But I think before we proceed to there, I think Stoicism also defines it very well, where you cannot you can only control how you respond to a situations, right? You can choose where is your directions, right? But at the end of the day, there is a growth over it. How do you see from that perspective?
I agree. I think in some ways, I don't think the early Stoics were so much bothered with growth. That wasn't their, how to say, eventually the goal wasn't to become better or become better, but I think they kind of paved the way to that understanding, because what they said is, you can only control the things you have in control of.
Yes.
So any other thing, you can just leave it.
Right.
When you put it that way, it just basically opens up the road for growth. And also, another thing is, they also kind of underline the hidden beauty or the hidden
Storm.
Yeah, I'm going to come there. The hidden wisdom in facing the storm. They kind of give you the, how to say, they give you credit and they give you your, how to say, chance to say, dude, just sit down with your own self, with your own limited abilities, and live what you have to live.
Yes.
Without complaining, without crying. Even if you want to cry,
Do
but
it.
like do it. But you cannot escape what you need to face.
True.
And that's growth.
Yes, and most importantly, how you're going to respond to the storm.
Oh, yes.
Right? You can fight it all the way, under the rain, with the strong wind and so on. Or, you can hide yourself. Or, let's say, you can find the place for you to stay.
Well,
right?
have you heard, did you know this? Like, there's this saying in the sailing world, the seamanship. If you wanna get rid of the storm, you need to sail to the eye of it.
Of course.
Because in the center, it's very silent. But you have to pass all the way
Yes,
to
to
the
pave
storm,
the way,
to
as
the
you said.
center of it.
Yes.
So you need to face directly the storm. Get into the storm and just face it.
Say it again. It's so beautiful to me.
Just say it again. I mean,
Yeah,
you
the sailing
need to
thing.
face the storm, like head on.
Oh my
Get
goodness.
into the storm. That's the only way to, how to say, life is like that too.
Yeah.
Every aspect of life.
Yeah.
Because we're always facing different sizes of storms, but
Yes.
there are storms every
True.
day, right?
Me too. I mean, I'm kind of more into the, branch of philosophy, which is, they call it as a pragmatist.
Yes.
Right? In the pragmatist means we focus on how to solve the problem
Yeah.
with the practical solutions
Yeah.
and usable solutions rather than theoretizing it.
Or
right?
idealizing it.
True. So the point is, I can see that from the pragmatist perspective where in order to solve the problems, you have so many failures.
True.
You need to try certain of particular solutions.
Yes.
It doesn't mean you're going to be success, right? There is no warrant that, okay, let's try these solutions, then you can get it well as the results later.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Yeah, so to me, how I define growth as a pragmatist, right, is the cycling process of solving the problems.
So did I understand you correctly? You're kind of using problem solving as as a process of getting better at it,
True.
Pragmatically turning it into a device
Yes.
of growth, a
Yes.
device of getting better.
True.
That's so interesting.
True. So we both are professors in our marketing department.
True.
Proudly say that.
Proudly say
Proudly
that.
say that.
Yeah.
I mean, we as professors, me more specific, I've done a lot of research. But again, my method is kind of not following deductive where they have a picture from the theory in the previous evidence. Okay, they compare their ideas and so on. But me, on the other hand, I like to see how it works first.
True.
Either or not you have the theory, but I need to see this is the problems, how to solve this. So I kind of more to a human perspective who experience these kind of problems and see what's their solutions to these problems, right? Because it's not tested and there is no guarantee what they are saying can be true. Right?
True,
So there is a process inside,
True.
right? And last episode we talked about failures.
Yeah.
So the fail experiment of trying to trust someone's opinion to solve these problems, we call that as a failure. But again, repeated failures will create a growth.
Correct. You know the story about Thomas Edison,
All right?
discovery of the lamp, his electric lamp. I mean, he failed 1,000 times, and he was even ridiculed by his own men.
Yeah.
And he famously said, I didn't fail. I found 1,000 ways that doesn't work. But that's learning, right? So that's the attitude, I guess. And I think that's probably the most simplistic approach of academic. Correct.
Yes.
Because you need to, let's not forget, we test hypotheses.
Yeah.
Which means, by definition, we should be ready to the reality that your hypotheses will fail.
Yes.
Because basically we're throwing things on the wall and see if it's going to stick.
Stick or not.
Or not.
Yes.
And if you're not comfortable with the idea that it's not going to stick,
True.
but then you probably have chosen the wrong profession, right? Sometimes you and I, we have so many common things. Like you and I both like to ride big motorcycles.
Yes, motorcycles.
And I kind of like to ride like enduro, like in off-road, going on the mountain. Not everybody likes that. It's a different
By the way,
joy.
I also like that.
I know. The thing is, the very first thing I say to someone who is, I've been riding motorcycles 20 years already. So when someone comes and I want to try off-road or enduro, I always ask this one question. When you fall, if you fall, or let's say when, it's not if, you definitely will fall on the dirt. It's not,
The
stable.
street fall.
You will definitely fall. But the thing is, the only one question is, when you fall, are you laughing? When you're, oh my God, it felt so good, it was so much fun. If you're laughing and picking up your bike, you're right. You're good. You will laugh. But if you're like, I'm so, if you're sad and if you're crying and if you're sad about your motorcycle being stretched, maybe it's not your thing. You need to be happy with it.
The worst thing when we, traveling together, biking together, even you blame someone of your own mistakes.
Perfect.
Why did you turn that time?
Yeah, why did you do that?
Why didn't you on your sign lights? My goodness, right?
Yeah,
but
it's true.
It's not easy, man.
It's not easy. Not everybody's. In Chinese, we say "不是你的菜." It's not your thing. But if you can enjoy it, again, from a motorcycling example, sometimes when you're riding in groups, there are always some people who say "Oh, let's go, we're late." What's the rush? What's the
There
hurry?
is not such a fun in these things, man.
I understand. I don't want to waste time either, but it's also at the same time we're not on time. We're not on budget.
You don't want to how to say that, you don't want to pass this pleasure so quickly.
Correct. Like, I mean, let's enjoy we are having fun, we're talking, we're riding. We're not trying. There's no point in rush. You need to enjoy it.
Really.
If that's the case, back to the growth.
So we
kind of
fly too much.
Fly too much. I want to ask something, because that pragmatic approach in research is actually something that you inspired me a lot.
Oh, really?
We talked about this before. No. Thank you. How? Because I want to get back to that, because at the period in my research life, I was very frustrated and very unhappy about doing research, reading about research, doing my own. Very frustrated, because every time when I start a new project, or every time I'm kind of getting involved in some kind of topic, research area, start to read and think about it, I felt it's all the same. It's always a repetition, the same models, same theories, just change a little bit, put something, put a different factor, even change the methodology in some ways, use a different analysis. But basically, it's the same. It's always a repetition of things. And this is, I think, what you just said is related to that. When some academics, or a line of academics, are kind of in a way in a rut, they're always doing similar things in some way. But there are people like you, which you inspired me in that sense, like wait, we can come up with something from very pragmatic, from very real experience, from I know this exists because I personally living it, right? I'm experiencing it myself. So let's see if this hypothesis works. Is it a common? Let me see if it's going to stick. Is it a thing that what I'm experiencing is also a common thing? So coming up with not just finding theories or some research results that will connect in permutations and combinations in ways like, let's put this
play with the data.
No, let's come up, let's build it from our own real pragmatic experience. That was such an interesting thing. Please talk about that a little bit, because that inspired me a lot. I hope this might inspire other researchers like you did to me.
Thank you so much.
Oh, welcome.
Thank you so much. We inspire each other.
Thank you.
You definitely ask these questions where, how to say that, serendipity aligns with our meeting today. Right. So today we had a meeting with a PhD, a group of PhD students. Then they try to present their ideas about their research, right? So one paper talk about the brand and so on and so on and so on. But again, after all the presentations, I come back to myself again by asking them, like, what is brand?
Get back to a very basic question.
Get back to the very basic in order to understand all the things that you talk about. So I asked them, how you define brand? And some PhD student research about AI and sustainability. Then I said, what is sustainability and how AI can disrupt the sustainability things? I would say they are not failed to answer the questions, but they're not giving the best, meaning they're still unstable with what they understand.
They're not stable, they are still unstable with their answer.
With their understanding. So then I come to the stage, to the front, then I draw all the things. So brand, this is brand. How you define brand? Let's say brand is a person, brand is a company, brand is a product, brand is a what, right? And then after that, I draw so many things from their stories. Then from this scratch, then we define some connections between all these things, brand, person, and so many things. And then at the end of the day, I said, when you develop the theory or the concept, make sure it works first. Works based on your logic. So whenever you build the concept, and this concept will be logically acceptable, at least to you and people surrounding you, meaning have the same expertise as you do, like and a professor or a PhD scholar and so on. Make sure it works first, right? And then after that, from these 3 circles, right, I ask them, can we develop one framework out of this? Then they said, maybe 1. Then I developed 5.
Okay.
So my point is, first, I quote myself last time in the meeting. Research is about, especially from the pragmatic perspective, make sure first your hypothesis is right, right? From the practical perspective. Experience. And second, publish your works. Make sure the editor accepts your logic.
Okay.
And then the third, when your published papers cited by so many people in a year or in 2 years, let's say 1,000 times, that means people are accepting, even following your logic.
True.
Right?
True.
So if you asked me, make sure first you have a solid definition from the practical perspective. What are you going to do? That is the first thing, the very, very basic thing. Then you can go everywhere. And still, I always mention to the students, at least those who I teach, I always say, don't start from the book first. Start with what's inside your mind.
True. That's a good advice.
Let it out.
Yeah.
Let it out. Why? Because in the pragmatist, you will find a uniqueness and a distinctness of mind, hypothesis, whatever you call it, ideas.
True.
When you dare even to let it out.
Correct.
In the right way.
That's so beautiful. Because I love it so much what you said, because what is the most important question in the beginning of research?
Right.
Research gap, right? Like what is missing? What is bothering
Right.
you? I do the same thing. I ask my students, I ask myself actually, same thing. What's bothering me? There's something wrong.
Yeah.
There's something missing.
Yes.
That's the best approach in starting a research.
Yeah.
Like, find something that bothers you, that doesn't make sense, that you don't really understand, that doesn't, in a way, makes you uncomfortable. You need to put it in writing first. You need to make sure what really bothers you.
Yeah.
Not read. You will read literature 1,000 times. Like, I mean, forget about literature. You can find some answers there too. I'm not saying literature is irrelevant or unnecessary.
It is.
Of course it is.
Relevant,
Obviously.
of course.
Of course. However, your starting point shouldn't be there. Your starting point should be maybe here in the heart, not even the brain, like
Yes.
intuitive. Like,
Yes.
your intuition says, like, there's something wrong with it.
Yes, true. So basically, let's simplify the things that I have explained.
Yes.
I have tried this maybe 5 or 6 years ago. When we want to go to Taiwan as a PhD students last time, it's kind of weird to me and my friend, because in order to apply the visa, in order to apply all the things, we didn't ask anyone. We try our best first.
Okay.
Then it works.
All right. Nice.
And then after it works, then we ask our friends. You know what they said? They said,
it's impossible.
How could you do that?
Yeah, I do it.
My point is, you will find the uniqueness once you try it by yourself, without citing anyone.
That's so interesting. But don't you think sometimes the opposite might be the case? Like, I mean, if you ask someone with experience or with some knowledge, it would be faster than trying on your own?
It is, but I choose the other way.
Yeah, I know.
I choose because if you ask people first, that means your way is more deductive, where you ask evidence first.
But you know what? It's so interesting. Like, these things come together. Sometimes it makes my hair becomes, oh my God.
Come on.
Last night, is it last night? 2 nights ago, I forgot. I was watching this podcast with Mr. Beast. You know Mr. Beast? He's a YouTuber, right? He's one of the big famous.
Mr. Beast.
Yeah. And he's a, I mean, obviously, he has proven that, I mean, he has a method. I mean, like, he's one of the top YouTubers. And he has a very similar approach to yours. We all know Mr. Beast has very crazy videos and crazy
Top
stuff.
knock.
Yeah, I know. But back to his method, because they were talking about how he works, how his mind works, and how he works. Exactly the same. Because obviously he is making crazy videos, and all these crazy videos starts with a crazy idea. He wants to try this.
From him.
From inside, from here. Like, I mean, oh, would it be nice if I bury myself under the ground for 100 days? When you say it to anyone, they say, oh, it's impossible. It's impossible. You cannot do that. So he says, his team, especially his close team, his assistants, their character, individual character, is trying to solve things that are thought as impossible.
Yeah.
So, for example, you cannot bury yourself under the ground for 100 days. So what do we need? Deduction. They go from one. So do we need approval from the cops, or I don't know? How do we do the security? How do we solve the air? If that, why do we get stuck?
Yes.
We got stuck here. Solve that.
Yes.
Next step. Move.
Yes.
Got stuck again. Solve that. Now move. True. So the whole team, his team of people who help him to create the video, from beginning to the end, they're always trying to solve impossible things. But we watch the video.
We watch the video.
We watch it.
Excited to watch the video.
We watch it. So they delivered the product.
Yeah.
Even though from the very beginning, all the way through, oh, that's impossible. Oh, you cannot do that. Oh, no one has done it. Oh, because every step there will be someone who is saying
impossible.
Correct.
But again, to me, from the story of Mr. Beast and his method and his team and the results, the fruits, the video, I can say, in order to maintain and survive your idea's nobility, you need to support. You need support, right? But again, your nobility of idea is executed.
True.
It is recorded.
True.
And it's there. And within 3 days, 4 days, hundreds of millions people are watching that.
Yeah, true.
Right? So that's the point of the pragmatist way, as I've learned, where the nobility of the ideas can be executed when you think it by yourself.
Andrew, I kind of want to ask you something. So this, you have a method, right? This, in a way that you start from your pragmatic view. Yes. Doing this kind of research, is it something you see somewhere, learn from somewhere, or is it totally something you came up on your own, like in your own struggles as an academic? I'm very curious about that, because that's it sounds like it's a very solid foundation. That's why I'm curious.
How to say this? Because it was built from a very long time experience since I was since I was studied in bachelor at that time. Sorry, professor, not to mention your name. But again, to deductivize our ideas during the college period, especially in Indonesia, we need to complete writing the thesis. So since bachelor in Indonesia, we already writing the thesis and paper things. So I have nothing. I'm a college student, right? So I always try to ask her, like several times, how does it goes, how does it work, and so on, so many things. And then not a good response, I guess. So I try to understand everything by myself. Like I built the logic. That's the first. I built the logic. If this work, this gonna go here, this gonna go here, this gonna go here, this gonna go here.
A roadmap.
Yes, all the way by myself. So repeat again, in the master's the same, in the PhD the same. So if you ask me, I found the pragmatist method after being pragmatist.
Oh, the method came after.
Yes, so the point is, when I was a PhD, I try to close up myself with the reference of pragmatism paradigm. Then I read this paradigm. Oh my goodness, this is me.
No, you found yourself.
Yeah.
You found your group of people.
That's why I said I found the pragmatism true pragmatist.
I see. Like,
I didn't try to be pragmatist.
you find your tribe, brother. You find your tribe.
You call it beautifully. So if you ask me, can I change my foundation into be more like deductive? I doubt myself I cannot.
It's not who you are.
Because I always try, what's the problem? Right? Always we had a meeting together. And, well, what's the problem?
Correct.
And then I asked, what's the solutions
Correct.
to identify problems?
Correct.
Always.
Correct.
Always.
I mean, at the beginning I said this was very inspiring to me because I think I am from the same tribe too.
Welcome.
Thank
Welcome
you.
to the family.
Why? Because the way I was seriously stuck in doing research was only because of this. Because I felt like the current research available were not really helping solving real problems, problems that really matter. It seems like they seem to be doing something of value, but there's nothing I didn't know. I mean, even before reading the paper, I knew what I was gonna see, right? I kind of can expect something.
Yes.
But I always felt like is this wasting my time? Is this wasting resources?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's some kind, in a way, research should open up new frontiers.
Yeah.
It should bring up new approaches or
Yes.
new things that, the papers that I loved all the time was like people like, oh my God, like made me that. Made
Yes.
me like, oh, that's,
Amazed you.
yes. I was like, yeah, I never thought about it.
Arousing you.
Correct, it's an arousal. You can,
Yes.
oh, that's so interesting. I never thought like that. That's why when we start to collaborate and work together, when we start to talk about research ideas with you, I felt that inspiration. That inspiration came because when you and I, we also, obviously, you have your research experience, you have your readings, ideas, I have mine. We put together,
Yeah.
we sit down and like, you say something and it opens, oh, that's interesting. We can talk about that.
Right?
Without even getting too much into, oh, let's find the literature, let's find some. No.
No.
Just write it down. Write it down. That's a good thing to work on.
Yeah.
We should understand what this
Yes.
situation is. Then you say something, I say something, that brings up, oh, how about that? Add this to that. Like
Yes.
there's also this part of this question that we
True.
don't know. That's why every time we have these, I would say, brainstorming
Yes.
meetings,
Yes.
it was like magical because we were able to come up with models, 5 different models, 6 different research models, a line of research for the next 5 years, because that is a starting point. That builds up on each other.
Yeah.
Then we can do this,
True.
and if we can prove that is, and if we can find support on it, then we can do that.
Yes.
So it just literally like open up the
Yes.
dam, how to say, the floodlines, the flood. It becomes like, oh, that's good, let's do that.
Yes,
let's
true,
do that.
true.
It is such a inspiring, exciting thing that I really missed for so long. I didn't have.
Right?
What do you think? Don't you feel?
I felt the same. So that's why I want to say, like, when we were together, like, talk about research, upon looking at our experience so many times ago until today, like, kind of time is an enemy now.
True.
Because we forget about it.
Correct. True.
Right?
Correct.
Sometimes we start at 2 and it's end with,
The truth. Like,
I don't know.
Oh, what time is it now?
oh my
God.
goodness, you gotta go, you gotta
Yeah,
go.
yeah,
That
true.
means we kind of enjoy the conversations,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
Right. So I think, speaking of the research things, as a scholar, not as a professor, okay, what do you think growth is?
Well, I think, again, from the very beginning, let's make a full circle again. In growth, there are elements, there are ingredients that
Alright.
you use, right? So if it's an academic growth, I think, well, if you're already experienced academic, you probably already read a lot. So maybe you don't really need to read more. But again, if you are just starting, you really need to have a good foundation.
Yes.
So you really need to know your thing.
True.
So And I think this is something majority of especially students. It's obviously, I mean, it's not surprising, but even in some academics, they lack a foundation of. And when I mean foundation, I just don't mean the famous paper, the cited paper. Yeah. I mean philosophy, like
knowledge foundation,
philosophy, like
foundations.
How to say, like the semantics of it, the real foundation. Yeah. Because the science, basic, whatever it's social science or STEM, like the physics,
whatever
chemistry,
fields,
mathematics, whatever field. If you don't have a good foundation, you will always be shakeable,
unstable.
So,
things, yes.
Growth in academic, you need to build up your foundation.
Right.
Read, study, think, write. There are many ways to build that, and it takes time.
Takes time.
It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in a couple years. I mean, master plus PhD. Even from bachelor, actually, if you're that into it. I mean, that's decades of work. Then, again, another ingredient is, I think, because time, you said, is limited.
Yes.
What I really enjoy about growth in academic is you don't just read, but you have to write. You need to produce.
All right.
Deliver. Because you learn a lot while writing. I learn a lot while writing. Because some things that I think I understand, when I try to write it down, I understand, well, actually, I'm not really.
Then you try to understand even yourself.
Yeah, even myself. I kind of noticed that, well, I'm not really good enough on this.
Right.
So let me read.
Right.
So write. That's
so
very
first
important.
Is read.
Yes.
Second is write.
And write means deliver on a deadline. Okay. I mean, write also doesn't mean that you're going to write for years. Yeah. Give yourself a deadline. I'm going to submit this paper end of this month. So put in the whatever extra hours. True. And don't just, procrastinate. Oh, let me read a little bit more. Oh, this is not good enough. 80% is enough.
True.
We just talked about this.
True.
80% is good enough.
True.
So the second thing is use the time and your energy wisely and produce something, not just read.
True.
I know you do the same recommendation. I tell my students, if you're working on your thesis all day, you're not working on your thesis at all. You need to work on your thesis just 1 hour. Just 1 hour.
True.
Anything more than you do an hour, you're just, lying to yourself. You're just wasting your time. You don't need hours.
If you are not an expert.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct. I mean, exactly.
Right.
I mean, if you're a philosopher, if your job is to
days, you can stay there.
Correct. But I mean, if you're a student and if you're not finishing your research work in an hour, you're just playing.
Yes.
You're just acting.
True.
And this is true for us too. All I need is 90 minutes of closed, no phone, nothing, just write. So that's 3. And another thing for the growth is, I think, just face the fact that it's going to hurt. It's difficult.
Defend it.
Correct.
We, as a professor or scholar, we defend it by facing so many comments from editor, reviewers. However, students on the other side, they defend it in front of the committees and so on, right?
You have to defend your work.
Writing, your reading, your ideas.
Correct.
Right?
Because rightfully so, the reviewers are tough, right? We always have that reviewer too.
Thank you very much.
Reviewer too. There's this one person who just likes to put you in your place.
Yes.
I don't mind. But you need to defend that. And you need to, live through the pain of this struggle, trying to come up. That's a giving birth, right? That's what I think. How about you?
Again, same, defend it, right? And then after you defend, disseminate it.
Oh, yeah, that's very important too.
Because without disseminating it, there is no impact.
Correct.
As I said before, my good game is to be impactful to the society.
Correct.
So in order to be growth in this profession, let's say, as a scholar, first we need to read a lot.
True.
We need to write a lot.
True.
We need to defend a lot.
True.
Right?
Correct.
Thank you very much. And then we
We
need
were
to
too.
we need to disseminating it, disseminating it a lot,
Correct.
not to the society only, but to our students.
True. True.
So that's why I kind of have a definition of teaching, like teach what you research, research what you teach.
That's a very good approach. I love that.
Right?
I love that.
What do you think?
Totally agree. That's something I try to do myself too.
Yeah.
Correct. Like your teaching and research should go hand in hand.
Yes, hand in
Feed
hand.
each other.
Yes.
Not easy. It's not easy. Not every professor does that. But I mean, if you can do it, if you put in the effort, it works.
Yeah.
I mean, and thankfully, I mean, I'm grateful that we have the opportunity, especially in this institution
Yes.
we work. I mean, we have that chance that the courses we teach are also pretty much integrated
Yes.
and how to say connected,
Relevant.
relevant
Yes.
with our research also.
Yes.
So that's I mean I assume probably every institution, educational, higher education institution has that, but I mean it's really, in our case, it's very obvious.
Yes,
we
yes, yes,
can
yes.
see
I
we
can
really
feel that
see
too.
them, yeah.
Same, like you said.
Yeah, because we both of us, we come from different educational, institutional backgrounds. So we have seen other places too.
We have seen
kind
there.
of, we kind of know how things work in other places. This one is particularly good for that.
But I think, I mean, we've defined what's the meaning of growth, how the philosophy ways of Stoicism and Pragmatism, and maybe Aristotle. We can also learn that because basically, to be virtuous, right? To be virtuous, you need to be true in order to be truthful, right? That's the Aristotle things. But we also came out with how we experience the failure things and transform it into growth in a way of scientific or scientist or as a scholar. But I think our audiences came from so many backgrounds, right?
True.
But I think the most important things is that, oh, by the way, this is our signature, how do you call it?
I mean, Shakala, we just end of class.
I mean, if you guys watch this and you've been in Siwa UT or in any universities or schools in Taiwan.
It's a common sound, like in many universities.
If you miss Taiwan, you watch this video.
Very nostalgic, right? Like if you miss the university environment, that's what.
That means we're also recording this at school.
It's true. I mean, that's true. Like, I mean, we are in the beautiful our Chaoyang University of Technology Department of Marketing and Logistics Management.
Yeah,
we're using our tiny classroom studio. We use it as a studio.
But it is an excellent classroom. I would say.
It is.
Again, back to the conversation. We have 10 minutes until it's again.
True.
Let's do it.
Correct.
You guys gonna wait for a few minutes later. It will ring again. My point is, probably our audience, no, definitely, indeed, our audience will came from different backgrounds. But what's your suggestions? Like, my suggestions to them will be like, as a pragmatist, I would say, dare yourself to try with your ways. My way.
Yes,
right?
yes,
just do it first, man.
Correct.
Whatever your professions, whatever your works, whatever you're doing right now, just do it first.
Correct.
And trust what you think.
True.
And trust what you think it's true. Right? But again, considering so many aspects.
Sure.
Right? So that's my suggestions
As
a pragmatist.
That's a good suggestion.
As a pragmatist.
That's a good suggestion.
How about
Similar. I would totally agree with all of that, and I just add one little thing is that you need to be ready, or at least be comfortable in the fact that it's gonna fail. It might fail when you do it on your own, but accept it as a good thing and turn that failure into growth. I mean, obviously you will struggle. We all struggle, but take that struggle as a good friend of yours. Take it as a trainer. I mean, I look at this as sometimes in class I say this because I think it's a very good match with this concept you mentioned. Like if you're how to say a new student, right?
Yeah,
I mean, if you're beginning your academic or scholar work, just think of it as you're in a gym.
Oh, in the
In
gym.
a gym, have you ever seen someone laughing, smiling in the gym? No, everybody's like, I mean, they're in pain. They're struggling because
Right.
you're lifting weights, you're pushing your limits, right?
You're painting
Correct.
yourself.
Well, that's what we do. I mean, this one also is doing a similar thing. Like, I mean, you should look at the process of this failure and learning is as a gym training. Then of course it's gonna hurt.
Right.
That's how you grow. That's how your muscles grow bigger. That's how your brain muscles grow bigger
Right.
too. You need to sweat and it's so difficult. Oh my God, I don't know, I got stuck. No, but that's how you do it.
I'm imagining it.
Yeah, right.
But again, you're saying, I mean, your advice to them, I can see you're really stoic, man. Really, like you choose how to respond to pain, like stay with it.
Correct.
Right?
Enjoy the pain. Enjoy it.
But me as a pragmatist will see how
Solve the
much-
problem with the pain.
how much is the lift that I need to live over time
Correct. Oh.
in order to not hurting myself more.
Very pragmatic solution to the lifting weight problem.
Me.
I like
True.
that.
I see things like that. See, you guys can see we are similar but different.
Correct. Of
Right?
course. Of course.
Oh my goodness.
So good.
It's. Should we wait for the second ring?
We're almost there because this is nighttime every 5 minutes.
Let's see. Let's
So
see.
Yeah, I don't know.
Man, again. How about giving advice to our own CYUT students,
Yeah, right. You go first.
especially in marketing?
Yeah, you
Me?
go first. Yeah.
Again,
Your advice seems more, how to say, more applicable. Mine is more painful advice. My advice is painful. Yours seems more like comfortable.
oh my goodness, this was never happened in previous episodes.
No,
before.
it didn't happen.
Okay, sorry. But to me, again, as a pragmatist,
Yeah.
I will try to suggest our students, we understand the ground, right? You understand as a teacher in Taiwan for 3 years, 4 years now?
5, I guess.
5 years.
5,
Me,
2020.
this is my first year as a teacher, professor in this department. We can see the ground and we understand what's going on in the ground. But I think from this today's topic, we talk about growth is that, again, probably the same suggestions or advice from the general audience that I've mentioned before is that dare to try.
You have to try, yeah.
But you need to see it differently. That's my suggestions in your studies, in your research, in your discussions with your groups. Don't see things similar, right? So whenever you try to enter the class, when you see some friends are sleeping, right? Come on, man, we need to listen to the teacher,
True.
right? We need to listen something. But if me sometimes say things, like I said, everywhere, you can raise your hands, teacher, this is not right. You need to say things like this, right? So I think dare to try. Wake me up, right? That's, I think, very important as a ground seeing.
True.
What do you?
I think it's a very necessary thing to have that open mind and have a more, how to say, questioning approach, even to the law professor, even to the paper. I think that's a good thing. For example, when I'm reading a paper, I tell my students also the same. When you're reading a paper, always have a curious, suspicious,
Skeptic.
skeptic. Like, I mean, is it? Like every sentence you read, you should always come with like, is it though? Is it really? How do you say that? How do you know? I mean, that's an attitude. And I don't care if it is like very famous paper, very famous reference. It might be true in its case. It may not be in your case, in your research. We both have papers where we contradict a very famous concept or paradigm, totally turn it upside down, and they get published.
Yes, it is.
Because, I mean, science, that's what scientific growth is.
Yes.
That's what growth is.
Debating.
Correct. You should totally debate, is it though?
Yes.
I mean, yes, I know there are thousands of papers citing this, but how about this? Well, that's what our job is.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you come up with something.
True.
Within your skepticism, within your curiosity. And obviously, we're not just saying it. You need to prove it.
Yeah.
You need to, support your idea. That's what I would say.
True. Because, we see the ground, right? So I think your suggestions also very, very important. We complement each other.
Yes,
like our advice kind of complement each other, right? I said, dare to try to be different, but see things different too also is important, and make it works and prove it. You mentioned prove it, do it, right? So I think it's very good.
Well, so it was again, it was a pleasure, brother. I mean, I really love our conversations like this.
Me too.
Today we talked about growth in academic, and we first defined what growth is and how do we define. We look at it from different approaches, different philosophical approaches, and we also turn it into a more practical, how we do it in our research, what kind of recommendations we have to the students. Anything you want to add?
And we also mentioned about how you as a Stoic see growth, right? And as a scholar see growth, and me too as a pragmatist see growth. And I think we kind of provides a fruitful example where audience later can see the difference in doing things. That is very important.
I would like to, at this point, actually, we can ask our viewers, how do you do your research, or what is your approach, or how to say, mindset, maybe we can say. You can leave a comment below, and maybe we can continue that discussion from that. Yes,
and I also want to ask our audience too, like, maybe this is very important questions too. If you are as a student, professors, or whatever your professions in an academic, let us know and leave us some comments about when did you get your first growth in academia?
First growth in academia.
And what is that?
What is that?
Yeah. Okay. For example, writing the books, finally, you published it, you defend it, you disseminating it, right? It's kind of very important, and
growth.
How to say that? Giving some heads up to us and suggestions to see what's the audience perspectives about growth. Then we can wrap up in the next episodes we talk about it.
True.
Right?
That's a good question.
Okay.
So please leave a comment below.
Okay. So, and see you in the next video of a Good
Game podcast.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. See you guys.